Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be previewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys. This video is sponsored by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, by the way. More on them in a little bit. Folks, yet another important matchup here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Quite frankly, I believe the Buccaneers need to win out. They do. And this is arguably the toughest matchup left on their schedule. Now, they just had an incredibly impressive win last week versus the Los Angeles Chargers, where the entirety of the team looked good. Offensively, defensively, they all did some good stuff. And whenever we look at this matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys, on paper, the Bucs should have some level of success. Offensively, the Cowboys are 12th in terms of passing yards this year and 11th in passing touchdowns, but they're without starting quarterback Dak Prescott. He is on the injured reserve. In his place is quarterback Cooper Rush, who so far this year has 10 passing touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So he's actually been pretty decent for the Cowboys this year. CeeDee Lamb has over 1,000 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. Jalen Tolbert is their second receiver with 462 yards and 5 touchdowns. So aside from CeeDee Lamb, not a ton in terms of the passing game. Now, in terms of rushing, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Yes, while the Cowboys do rank 27th in terms of rushing yards this year and only 4th offensively in terms of, or I guess I should say, 32nd in rushing touchdowns. They only have 4 rushing touchdowns this year. That's worse than the league. Rico Dowdle has been doing some interesting stuff this year. 880 rushing yards on 177 attempts. That's good for 5 yards per attempt, but only 1 rushing touchdown. And their backup running back, former great Ezekiel Elliott, only has 223 rushing yards this year on 70 attempts. That's good for 3.2 yards per carry and only 2 rushing touchdowns. So really, offensively, the main crux of their offense has been CeeDee Lamb, right? So it's going to be up to Jamel Dean. It's going to be up to Zion McCollum to contain CeeDee Lamb. And really the strength of this Cowboys offense, which is, quite frankly, CeeDee Lamb. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. There is a bit of interest here in terms of if the pass rush can get home. You have Zach Martin, their starting guard, who is on the injured reserve. Can the Buccaneers take advantage? Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey have both had very solid years this year. They're going to have to get after Cooper Rush. They're going to have to make Rico Dowdle really not be a factor in this Cowboys offense. I'm going to be curious to see if they are going to be able to do that. Folks, before we talk about the Bucs offense versus this Cowboys defense, I do want to say thank you so much to BetUS for being a proud sponsor of this video. If you guys use the promo code YouTube150, you get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit. After that, it's 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. All of that is up to $2,000. Thank you so much to BetUS for being a sponsor of this video. Now, back to the Bucs offense versus the Cowboys defense. And right now, defensively, the Cowboys are 21st in passing yards on defense, 18th in passing touchdowns. They've allowed 21 passing touchdowns this year. Now, in terms of rushing defense, they are 23rd in rushing defense and 32nd in rushing touchdowns. They've allowed 22 rushing touchdowns this year. So any way you slice it, the Cowboys defense has not been great this year. You have Marvin Overshone, who's on the IR, I believe. You have Trayvon Diggs, who's officially out for this game. Yes, you still have Deron Bland there, but you have DeMarcus Lawrence on the injured reserve as well for the Cowboys. They're pretty banged up defensively. They are. There's no question about it. Now, their top guy, Micah Parsons, is likely going to be playing in this game, and he was questionable, but he has 8.5 sacks. He has 19 quarterback hits. That's going to be up to Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gedeke to contain the absolute beast that he is. Carl Lawson's actually played a lot more than I think people thought he was going to play this year. He has 5 sacks this year, and he was still a solid pass rusher. He's probably going to be their number 2 guy with DeMarvion Overshone out. He is second on the team as well with 5 sacks. So, look, this is a banged-up Cowboys defense. I expect Mike Evans to to still do some good things. He needs 251 yards here to get to that 1,000-yard mark. I expect the running backs to do good as well, folks. I'm looking at Bucky Irving. I'm looking at Rachaad White. I think those guys can do some really, really good work, and I think that Jalen McMillan's come on strong here the past couple of weeks as well, especially with Cade Otton being doubtful for this game. I think that's going to add even a bit more of an emphasis on guys like the running backs and McMillan to step up in the absence of Otton, which I think they should be able to do against an admittedly banged up and overall not that great Cowboys defense so far this year. But I will say this. The Cowboys are always a tricky team. They're always a sticky team. They have won 3 of their last 4. Okay, they have. And I know some people may say, well, they beat the Panthers and the Giants. Come on, those wins aren't that impressive. Well, if we're giving the Bucs credit for beating those teams and they've won 4 straight, we should give the Cowboys credit for those wins as well. So they're not a team to be taken lightly. And of course, as fans, it's one thing. Of course, I don't believe the players will take that team lightly as well. They also beat the Washington Commanders, which was a pretty impressive win for them also. So we'll see how, things will happen, how the Cowboys get going, how the Bucs get going here. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about this game down in the comments section below. Again, thank you so much to BetUS for sponsoring this video. It is greatly appreciated. And as always, guys, we'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.